Hello, Free Leaguers. Welcome to the Symbaroum Symposium, or as we like to call it, the Sim for October 2021. Before we begin, I would like to say that if you enjoy these sessions with Mattias and learning all about the plans in the future for Symbaroum, please hit that like button down below. That lets us know that you'd like to see more of this content, and please let us know if you appreciate Mattias giving some time out of his busy schedule for these as well, and because we know how busy a gentleman he is, so that helps us grow as a show, and it also lets us know that you'd like to see more of this type of content. So without further ado, let me bring on the man of the hour, and that is, of course, the one and only Mattias Johnsson Haake of Free League Publishing and the main person behind Symbaroum. Mattias,
hi, dog.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I have to start by correcting you.
Okay.
I'm one of three men.
I'm sorry.
Behind Symbaroum. We need to be correct here, right?
I apologize.
Can't forget about Martin Grip and Mattias Lilja.
That's true. Without them, this game would not be possible. I apologize, Martin.
No, you don't have to. Anyway, it's super nice to be here. I love the Sims. I know it's just the second one, but it feels like a tradition already. We need to do more of these.
Yeah, we do. I greatly appreciate it. The first one was so well received, and there was a lot of chatter on the Facebook groups and the forums and everything. That I'm like, okay, well, now that all these Origins and Gen Con and all these conventions are done, we need to have a follow-up one. So we'll try to do these maybe every quarter. I think that might be a good way to do it, and or whenever we might want to make an announcement or something. I don't know. We'll see. Announcements. Well, maybe. So let's see. Paul is here. Hello, Paul. Thank you so much for joining us. Sam, thank you. I met Sam at Origins. Sam is a big fan of Symbaroum, so it was very nice to see him. And that I'll be honest with you, Mattias.
But you know who Paul is? Watson?
Paul Watson.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about him and his work during this show.
Okay, sure.
Because he is the man behind the Symbaroum Foundry modules. Virtual tabletop. Yeah. If it is indeed you, Paul, I guess it's you. There could be more Paul Watsons in the world, I guess, but.
that was another question that was another subject that got brought up quite a bit at Gen Con and Origins is all of our work with Foundry and virtual tabletops and people are very, very pleased with the modules that we've been putting out for and the content that we've been putting out for virtual tabletop. I don't think I've mentioned that to anybody else since I've been back, but people are really, really pleased with us moving into that space a little bit harder. So Paul says I love it too. Definitely him. Cool. Thank you, Paul. Paul, thank you for all the hard work that you put in. People are very pleased with it. We appreciate that.
And just recently, if someone has missed that, Paul has helped me to add a lot of used stuff from the Advanced Player's Guide to the core book Foundry module. So now you have all the stuff from the abilities and powers and boons and burdens and so forth from the Advanced Player's Guide also in that module. So it's even more complete today.
Very good. Oh, look at this. So many folks have joined us today. Thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate that. So Mattias, you're a very busy gentleman. Symbaroum was very well received at both Gen Con and Origins. People were coming over and they were saying how much they enjoy it. Folks were buying it all up. Like it was great to just see folks that would come over and say nice things about the product line, and then there were folks that were like, "Oh, I don't have this. Give me all of it," and they would buy it all in one great big swoop.
They did?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was really, really cool.
This starter set that we made more or less specifically for conventions, it wasn't necessary. People buy everything. Okay, good to know. Good feedback.
We did sell some starter sets, but it was really encouraging to see folks who were like, "Oh, what is this? And then you explain to them, they're like, oh, I want this. Like they wouldn't just pick up 1 or 2 books; they'd pick up 3 or 4 or 5, books at a time, which was really nice to see.
I love it, and it's been that way always on conventions for Symbaroum, and to be honest, I've been with Free League now since 2018, and it's pretty much the same story with most games.
It is.
Oh man, I sound smug right now.
No,
it's super cool. I don't think I've been at, if you stay with Symbaroum, I don't think I've been at a convention ever where the Symbaroum books didn't run out before the end of the show. So that's been it's mostly, to be honest, Martin's work, because people pick up the book and start flipping it through, and they see the artwork, and you have it behind you as well. It's, I don't know, it's quite enticing. Also, it's interesting to see that, Symbaroum has been out there now for 6 years. And it feels like at some point most people should know about its existence, but well, no. I guess lots of people are still discovering Free League and Symbaroum, much thanks to Alien.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's it was really great to see this kind of ripple effect with at those conventions this year, where folks knew us from Alien, and they were like, okay, I came over for Alien, but let's take a look at everything else. Coriolis, Symbaroum, like those have been out for a while, and then people are still. Those are some of the best sellers for this year at those conventions.
Yeah, Coriolis, it's nice to hear you say that, because and I think that especially has got Alien to thank for a lot, because it's both our sci-fi games and so on. So I guess there will be a little bit of a crossover there in terms of players and fans, even though they are quite dissimilar in many respects as well. But yeah, I can definitely see increased attention for Coriolis over the last year or so, and for Symbaroum. Symbaroum it's snowballing slowly but surely.
Absolutely. Actually, it looks like Daniel's got a question for us right away. We'll talk. We'll take this question, then we'll get to a couple. We'll kind of talk a little bit about the Ruins of Symbaroum progress, and then we'll also maybe can you give us a little bit of information about the 6th Chronicle?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about it.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I know that Sam especially was very interested to hear what what that was as we talked after Origins. So Daniel says, question: I haven't got into Symbaroum yet, but finding it to be very interesting. Where would you say that I should get my start with Symbaroum?
Well, there are 2 entry points, I would say. If you have a bit of time, my suggestion would be the core rulebook, because it's one of those all-inclusive core books where you get everything from setting to rules to actually an introductory or tutorial adventure as well. So all you need is dice and a pen, and print out some character sheets. Actually, it also has pre-written characters if you want to start with those. If you want a quicker entry and are more interested in kind of sandbox gameplay, and try Symbaroum on for size from that perspective, I would say that the starter set is a very good entry point. You have the slimmed down version of the same rules as in the core rulebook. You have a slimmed down version of the setting that mostly focus on going on expeditions, various types of expeditions into this vast forest, dark forest of Davokar. and you have a couple of adventure landscapes pre-written, and then you can design or randomly create other adventure landscapes as well with the help of the content. And you get the only set of original Symbaroum dice as well with that starter set. So
yeah, that was a main that was a big selling point for those starter sets at conventions. We had the nice dice displayed out.
Yeah, I think they are super nice. I mean, I would I want to do even more themed dice sets in the future. This one is called the Bright Davokar dice set, I believe. I would love to do Dark Davokar, Corrupted Blood dice set. I have some ideas about, and because dice are, well, they are the tool of the trade, and they are not to be underestimated.
They certainly
I should say also, if you if you're interested in getting into Symbaroum and you have sort of a a bigger group that you play with, or maybe even a role-playing games club, not only Symbaroum but most of our games have really nice package deals in the Free League web shop. So that's where I would start. Head over to the Free League workshop and check out what's on offer there.
Absolutely.
Oh, I became the seller. the not the basement, but the marketing.
There you go,
guy.
Man of many hats.
Oh yeah.
Lots of love for the starter set, which is awesome to see.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a great,
super happy with that one. Yeah. We talked about it for a very, very long time in our, in Järnringen before the merger, but it wasn't until we actually got together in this bigger collective that we got the time and resources needed to do it. And I'm again super happy that we did it, because it's a darling.
It is. It's great. It's great. All right. So we talked about that's product that recently came out. We also let's talk about some upcoming plans for the line before we get too long, and we'll take some viewer questions, and I see some here already in the chat, and I'll get to those here once we talk a little bit about the upcoming plans. Of course, the Ruins of Symbaroum. I believe the pledge manager is closed. I think it closed on the 10th, if I'm not mistaken. Can you give folks a little bit of
the option to participate or to make late pledges, as they are called, is closed, and that is because we need to know pretty soon what kind of print runs to make. And since quite a lot of the projects are Kickstarter not exclusive, because we will certainly get a few copies left after fulfillment that you will see in our web shop, but we don't want to print too many, so we have to close in time. And our aim is actually to go to print definitely within the month, so before the mid-November, hopefully sooner. And why is that, you ask, when the fulfillment is not until February? Well, the shipping situation is what it is right now, so we need to be like 4 months or something like that ahead all the time. So unfortunately, but we will of course open for pre-orders before launch, and possibly there will be some of the slipcase editions, the bundles and whatnot left for pre-purchasers. So, and that will be sometime maybe in January or something like that.
Excellent. I think the last PDF you sent out was the Game Master's Guide for Ruins of Symbaroum.
And we have high hopes that we will be able to send out an alpha of the bestiary
Okay.
for a very limited time, unfortunately. But we will have a second look at it from our proofreaders as well. So we have had such amazing help from the backers that it's both me and Jacob who are mainly rowing this 5e boat right now are amazed and super happy that we have such fantastic support. And we really want to give the backers the opportunity to look at the Monster Codex as well, because even if lots of the content is copy pasted from the original game, you have all the new rules and the stat blocks and whatnot, that it's easy to get a figure wrong here or there, and any help we can get in spotting those before print would be very much welcome, of course.
Absolutely. So you'd say that the Ruins of Symbaroum Kickstarter is about on schedule as far as development is where you would like to, you kind of forecast it when you ended the Kickstarter, or is it
now you are going to get to learn a little bit Mattias Johnsson Haake lore.
Oh, okay. I love it.
I am never on time. I always feel late.
Oh, okay.
So so it was not what you expected there. I am never on time in the sense that I always feel super stressed that I won't make it. So often I am finished a couple of weeks or even a month ahead of schedule. This time, not so much, because of the shipping situation and whatnot that has made us move up the due date. But yes, I truly believe and hope that we will be able to send the rewards to backers in February next year. So all fingers crossed, and just we have learned over the past couple of years that so much can happen. But you will get your stuff. That I hope you feel confident about. There's nothing more important for us than that.
Are you allowed to kind of talk a little bit about how the shipping crisis is? I guess we can call it a crisis. It's a shipping situation. I hate to use the word crisis. It's not really a crisis, but it's definitely gone up in the last 18 months. Can you are you at liberty to kind of talk a little bit about how that's impacted Free League as a company?
I can talk about the public stuff,
Sure.
And it definitely is a crisis for many.
Sure.
Companies. Luckily for us, we haven't felt the worst of it yet, and it looks like we will be able to dodge the worst bullets. For instance, the Ruins of Symbaroum products will mainly, to about 95%, be printed in Europe. It is much tougher for games manufacturers, and we have some of those games as well that are produced in China that are even more affected by the shipping situation. So and what it really does for us is that it's more difficult to plan, meaning that we have to manage expectations more carefully when it comes to pre-purchasers and backers of Kickstarters and whatnot. Be very, very clear about what we can and cannot control, and try to be patient. Luckily, I mean, we are in a position that we have super nice backers and fans of our games, so it's most often it isn't a problem. And we also have, I must give a hand to our support, Daniel and Jenny, who are doing their very best to keep up. And sometimes when we have a launch and whatever, you can from the other side of the screen feel that it takes very long for them to answer. But believe me, they are busy. They are more busy than I am. I assure you.
Absolutely. I'm going to also give a personal shout out to both of them. They're super helpful, doing these conventions over the last few months, for the last month or so. I've had to, hey, request PDFs being sent, and they're very, very good. And if you're watching, thank you so much for all that you do for, I know me personally and for the, for the Free League community at large. So. All right. Do we want to talk a little bit about the 6th episode of the Throne of Thorns Chronicle?
Yeah.
This is something that I know, like I said, Sam was asking about it shortly after Origins, and I'm like, I'm definitely not the gentleman to ask. I will be glad to ask Mattias when I have him on next, and I know that Sam's not alone in wanting to know what the 6th episode is going to when it's going to drop, or what approximately, or how far along it is in development. I think folks are kind of curious if you can kind of give us a little bit of information that you're allowed to.
I have it all sketched out, and with talking about the Throne of Thorns as a campaign, most of you who have read and played it know that when I say I have it all sketched out, it doesn't mean that I have made some kind of linear plot line, and now it's only about writing it. I have it on a conceptual basis written down, and it actually was quite easy because given what has happened before, a lot of what will be part 6 is there will be surprises, but not on the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of things, you who have read the campaign overview, you have most of it there already. But I haven't started actually writing the text that will be in the book. Because why? Because for about up to 4 more weeks, I will be hard at work with the Ruins of Symbaroum product line, and I need to get that done so I can fully focus on Davokar Awakens next. What this means in terms of when the pre-order starts, or when the books are ready to hit the shelves, the aim is definitely next year, definitely earlier than late next year. But it's not just me, even if I have a finished script, we need the translation, and we need Gustav and Martin for the art, and so on and so forth. We need layout, layout I mostly handle myself for Symbaroum nowadays. We'll see if I do that this time too. That's I think it's more fun writing, if I'm being honest. So we'll see how that turns out. So
you're not a big fan of doing the layout artist work, huh?
It's quite fun, building the base of it.
Sure.
Putting in the art where I want it, and the maps, but then all these words that needs to be in italic, and I guess a professional would call it the typography or something like that.
Typography, yep.
Yeah. That's not super fun. No, it isn't.
Yeah, I can kind of see how that
care. I know that maybe Johan Noor and possibly also Dan Alstrand, who I'm working with now on Ruins of Symbaroum, would say differently, but trust me, it's not fun. No matter what they say, it's not fun.
So what you're saying is that the layout artists in the RPG industry are one of the most underappreciated aspects and
Man,
professions.
especially okay, now I'm smug again, but especially ours, I would say. I think we
There's
are
a lot of layout. Oh, absolutely.
super lucky in that department, as well as in the art department. So, and I'm very happy that, you know, I don't know how long it took for layout to become an award category on any whatnot. It feels like it has been a neglected.
It sure has been.
Side of the product.
Yep.
It isn't anymore.
No. It's still, I think, one of the more underrated or undervalued aspects of
maybe,
the RPG.
maybe.
But yeah, it's nice to see folks finally getting acknowledged.
You should
for their
have a
hard
talk.
work.
You should have a talk with Christian and Dante and whatnot on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, let us know if you'd like to see that. We should definitely. Christian, I've talked to Christian a few times, personally, but it would be great to have him on. All right, so let's talk a little. Let's get to some questions. Get to some viewer questions.
Okay.
If you want, let's see here. Stefan says, "Are you planning to continue the Swedish line, or will you drop it when I'm going to?"
Okay, come on.
I see Thomas. When we did our September update, Thomas made me say this too, and I'm totally going to offend all of our Swedish viewers. Drakar och Demonar. I don't know.
It's so fluently perfect that I get the chills. Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Now I feel like you're just making fun of me.
I am. Yeah, that is actually a very good question. There are no plans today to drop the Swedish line, but I mean, I talked about this in other interviews and maybe with you earlier too, Doug, that seeing that Sweden is a country where the biggest game in Sweden is Dungeons and Dragons in English. The second biggest maybe is Cthulhu in English. So, and given, I think that we would be able to, talking about the Symbaroum team in particular, we would be able to produce quite a lot of more material, official material, if we didn't have that translation bottleneck or hurdle or extra work. So it's definitely something that I'm thinking about and talking to my colleagues about. And but before we do anything, we will of course discuss it with the Swedish part of our fan base as well, through the classic forum rollspel.nu and our own forum at Free League and whatnot. So it's nothing decided yet, but it's definitely not unreasonable to discuss it.
Let's see here. Bruno has a question. Do you feel that the 5e version of Symbaroum will feel different during play?
Oh yeah, it will be. It's very interesting to see the comments we get right now, because we have comments coming from two directions, from 5e players and from original Symba players. And many 5e players are not complaining, but they are commenting that this is not quite a 5e game, because we have some mechanics and a way to design the classes and subclasses that are not exactly in line with how the big giant does it. And then we have people coming in from the Symbaroum direction, not complaining, but commenting that they would like to see, the freer form of character creation, for instance, that we have in the original Symbaroum game. that maybe also that corruption isn't as penalizing in the 5e version. So it will feel different from the original game, and it will hopefully, I say, feel a bit different from playing your standard 5e game as well. So because I mean it is a 5e game, but the rules, the new rules, the custom setting rules should absolutely help you to feel that you are in the world of Symbaroum and not in Forgotten Realms or whatever.
Excellent. I think we answered this question, but just in case Jonathan didn't catch it, will the 5e bestiary be shared as an alpha soon?
Yeah, hopefully. At one point, I wasn't even sure that we would have time to get an alpha out there. So, but look for it in the hopefully before the weekend, but I don't dare promise.
Excellent. Scott would like to know, are there any plans to upload the Throne of Thorns campaign to Fantasy Grounds?
Yes. Right. I mean, Paul and I have already talked about this, and we're starting with the adventure collection.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Sure.
With the Copper Crown and Adventure Pack 2 and 3 to get a couple of smaller, adventures out there. A couple, it's 6 of them. But then we will aim for releasing the Throne of Thorns. Absolutely.
Excellent.
I'm psyched about that myself, I must say, because someday I will have the opportunity, the time, the energy to actually play this campaign with some friends of mine, and they are scattered across, the globe. So having the Foundry tabletop modules would be super.
Sure, be a huge help. Marco asks, can we expect some lore expansion in Ruins of Symbaroum 5e?
Oh yeah, we are hoping. I mean, already with the success, I would say, of the Kickstarter, and this also, I mean, during the pledge level phase, pledge manager phase, we have seen quite a lot of activity and interest in the 5e adaptation. So I don't know exactly when, but I'd say that because the first thing we will do is get the adventure compendium and Call of the Dark finished and out to pre-purchasers, backers, and then to retail. And we will soon start converting the Throne of Thorns campaign. I mean, that's, to me, and you may think I'm wrong, I know that many do. Many have super fun with Symbaroum without ever opening the Throne of Thorns books. But to me, that is sort of the whole point of the game. So yes, we hope to convert those to 5e soon as well.
Yes.
Soon meaning starting at least next year. I don't know if we can release anything next year, but maybe.
Sure. Sam asks, I'll have to be on the lookout for them. Is there a mailing list we can join for new releases? And I am going to tell you that yes, there is. Let me bring it up here real quick. If you go to our freelypublishing.com, if you go to freelypublishing.com, our website, there is a section at the top that says contact, and you can sign up for the newsletter right there. And they'll send you all the information on everything that's coming up for Freely Publishing. So please feel free, if you're a big fan and you haven't already done that, please do that, because that helps us quite a bit.
Just so that people don't get scared, I wouldn't say that we use this a lot.
No, we
It's
don't.
like maybe a mail once every 2 weeks or once a month, often. So it isn't like you will be mail bombed if
Right.
you sign up for it.
We're not going to send you an email every day, and it's like some mailing lists that I've had to unsubscribe to. But no, it just kind
And
of gives.
it's always focused on releases, or now we open this Kickstarter or this pre-purchase for this game, and if you see the title and you feel that you are not super interested in whatever, you can always just close that one and wait for the next Symbaroum email to arrive.
Absolutely.
If that's your cup of tea.
Hopefully you'll take a look at all the emails, but if you're only
I
interested
really
in,
hope so you do, because we have so many
We
goodies
do.
in the bag today. It's crazy.
Robin would like to know: will you be reprinting / updating the card decks for Symbaroum?
No,
Oh, you will not.
that's harsh. You think that's harsh?
Wow, I didn't know. No, this is news to me. So I'm
No,
yeah.
maybe we will, but to us, or to me, I'm talking to me, I see little point in it when we have the free apps. We have the one called Symbaroum Unofficial, which is available on both Android and iOS. And then we also have Symbook, that I believe today is only on PC. But where you have all that content, and you can prep your character with the skills or abilities it has. And so maybe we have the links, I believe, on the Symbaroum game site over at our homepage, but maybe we could share a link to it here as well.
Sure.
In this thread, if you think that's a good idea, Doug.
Yeah, let me. I'll try to. I'll find the link and put it in the comments of this video.
I personally like the cards, but
Yep.
I must admit that the app is super user friendly. So
Sure.
And you can have, instead of oh, now I can't get that. We only have the one deck, so I can't get that ability because she already has it or whatnot. You can all have your own character in your own phone and check up your.
Formlex asks, will the 6th part have the same layout as the last book or as the ones before it?
I don't know if I understand the question. Because it's the same layout.
Are they thinking about like the stat blocks? Is that what they're?
I
wonder if that's what they're.
Can we get a clarification? Is it the stat blocks you are referring to?
I'm wondering because that was something that we introduced too. That was new for the.
Yeah, but is
set,
that
right?
in the? I have a couple of books here by my side. I don't even remember if it was the new stat block in this one. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And if so, we will. If that is the question, yes, we will keep using the new stat blocks. And it would be very interesting to know if you who post that question think that's a good thing, or if you prefer the old ones, maybe.
Yeah. Marco says to take your time and don't stress yourself too much, Mattias.
Yeah, I'm telling myself the same often and a lot. So we'll see if I sometime decide to listen to myself and to you.
Kevin, thank you so much for the praise. That's very nice to say. We appreciate it. Marcus says layout is king. I'm finally getting caught up to some of this. So I appreciate everybody waiting around for me to get to the questions that you've asked. Will Devakar Awakens be like Haunted Waste, which was almost a campaign focused, or will it have a larger general setting section like earlier Throne of Thorns? I think that's probably maybe what they're also referring to.
Right. Okay. The structure of the book. No, it will actually be a little bit more. Maybe you don't remember, Doug, because I know this was decided quite long ago now, but it was originally planned that we would have 7 books in this series,
Right.
and uh, and people have been asking me if I removed stuff along the way. But what actually happened is that I realized that the final 2 episodes, I mean, the previous episodes have quite a lot of information on Alberetor and, journeys in Alberetor and so on. But there is less campaign and setting information needed in these 2 final parts.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
sure.
there will be, there will be some general. I mean, the book is called Davokar Awakens, so it will not come as a shock that the book will include a lot of information about what that entails and what it means for, journeying in the woods and whatnot. And then if you have read the campaign overview, you will know that there are a few quite cool places that we will get to discover. And I say we because, I have these are places that I have only heard about, just like you. I haven't been there yet.
Sure.
So getting to, because and I will do that when I start writing. I will be the explorer that first discovers some really, really. I will not mention what places because there might be players listening to this. But if you're a game master, you can always download the free campaign overview. I think the product is simply called the Throne of Thorns on Drive to RPG, and we have it on our Symbaroum download page as well. So there will be quite a lot of setting, quite a lot of lore, but it will be more in the form of an adventure path with major aspects of adventure landscapes. So, I try to do that. It's people like different, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
And I am fortunate to be one of those persons who I eat a different breakfast every day. Yeah, I often get that reaction because people are habitual and they, often just the breakfast is the same thing every morning. I'm not like that. I like different as in within me. So some of the parts in this chronicle are quite linear,
right?
Because I like that. Some of them, like Mother of Darkness, is one huge adventure landscape, which I happen to like also sometimes. And then you get all of these. It's pretty funny to see how people react to them because everyone has got their favorite. For instance, I would say that the Haunted Waste is linear in the sense, but it's linear in the sense that it is composed of 5 or 6 quite big, but not Symbar big adventure landscapes, and you can play them in to an extent in which order your players want to take it. So in this case, in the case of the final episode, we will also have a little bit of both.
Okay.
So
Sure.
it will be, when it comes to the structure, quite linear at first, sort of a build up.
Okay.
And you will get to go and explore and visit a couple of pretty interesting, hopefully, places. And then it will have a hint of massive adventure landscape at the end. And I have said this before, and I try to stay true to this. my hope is that how this story ends will vary significantly between different gaming tables, depending on
I
player
like that.
choices. Depending on player character allegiances, and actually depending on dice rolls as well. So that's absolutely the aim.
Nice. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Kevin asks, when can we expect to see more mystical powers and such for the other young gods?
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Good question. I mean, we have this system in Symbaroum where you can actually take one mystical power and keep the mechanics of it, but change its appearance and its execution to make it fit, other types of traditions than the ones that are in the core book. So that is that. For instance, witchcraft and theurgy share quite a lot of powers between them, but totally new ones I think we will see after in some product after Davokar Awakens. If that will be next year or the year after is too early to say, but we are discussing internally what comes next, and as soon as we know, you will. But I mean, the realm of the order, which is I think what the question is about, is a very interesting place that I would like to investigate further. As is the city states that are said to have some kind of more alchemically oriented kind of mystical tradition that also would be interesting to dig deeper in. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to still to discover and to develop.
That's exciting. Roll NLS. Whenever this Kickstarter and campaign is settled, I'm assuming for Ruins of Symbaroum, will the following books be released with both systems, or will you follow parallel releases? I guess they're wondering if you're when you put out books, are you going to put out both systems at the same time? I think I've asked this question in the previous Symbaroum, but I think
for the foreseeable future, we will write new products for the original game system, and then our external team, spearheaded by Jacob Rogers, will get them when that is done, and we will not wait for him to make the conversion before we release the original system. I mean, it's 5e. It's not like it doesn't feel like we are unfair to 5e for releasing stuff to the original game beforehand, because it's such a giant. Please disagree if you like, but
I think it's probably good to have that foundation in place of the original game, and then try to port it over as much as you can, because trying to do both at the same time probably would maybe come off unfocused on either product. But I think you're in the right.
Especially as long as we also keep releasing the original books in Swedish. Right. Having the Swedish version, English version, and then the 5e version, manage them all at once, sending them off to print simultaneously, getting the fulfillment done for it. That sounds honestly a little bit like a headache.
So absolutely.
There's much more going into those processes than
what people understand.
Yeah.
On another note, which direction would you want to take with Symbaroum world development? Would you like to do world guides, new frontiers, more adventures? What would that's a great question.
Yeah, I think that as I said, after the Throne of Thorns campaign has ended, it will be, because it will, it's very open in the sense that your gaming group, when you meet another group that has made the same journey, uh, the fallout of the final confrontations will probably be very, very different. And the Ambria and Davokar that has emerged around your table will be something completely different than one next door. So it will be quite difficult to, I think we will shift focus to and develop another core, you know, core setting for the continued story. That doesn't mean that we will leave Ambria and Davokar behind. They will be there in the background, but they will probably be described and handled in such a way that you as a gaming group have lots of control of what actually happened there. So to me, I see it as taking place after the Throne of Thorns Chronicles and mainly being set somewhere else. And I think I've said before as well that one of my main ideas right now that I'm most curious about is the city states, because you have that border to the the enormous forests landscapes to the west where the Iron Pact elves once came from, and so it's kind of like Ambria and Davokar times 10 in intensity and in conflict. So it would be interesting to see how those, and it's a little bit more developed. These city states, I imagine, are a little bit more developed, more like old Alberetor. Like quite advanced late Middle Ages Mediterranean city states that are battling not only each other but also the huge forest to the west and the corruption that for some reason keeps appearing. Humans are so unlucky, don't you think, Doug?
Oh, absolutely.
Wherever they go, they stumble upon that darn power that puts stakes in their wheels and whatnot.
Joshua wants to know: is there any news on Symbaroum models? Please. I think by models they minis. I think that's
not yet, but hopefully very soon.
Wow. Okay. Maybe the next Sim. Maybe.
Absolutely, okay. Maybe. It's we are having discussions.
Nice. So if you'd like to know more and catch the next Sim and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that little bell notification. That'll let you know when we do our next Sim.
Yeah, I have a feeling actually, Doug, that over the past over the coming 6 to 12 months, we will have reasons to have quite a few of these Sims and talk about new cool stuff that are not only game books.
Okay,
That's
I'm excited.
What I hope.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
David wants to know: are you hiring for an assistant for Paul Watson to help him develop Foundry tabletop content? My players and I can't wait for more. Aww. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Again, thank you, Paul, for all the hard work that you do for those modules. Fenhorn, cards are greater than the app. That's what Fenhorn says.
Are bigger at least. Yeah, that's maybe true. Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that we won't, but I don't know. I'm 50 years old very soon. Not yet by a long shot, but by a short shot.
But-
And my eyes are not very good, so these cards that we made with the font size 6, it's the problem with them is that the abilities are so designed and powers that they are hard to. We'll see if we have to take a stab at the description of the powers. Then maybe cards would make sense again, and I would be able to read what I've done.
I mean, you might be 50, Mattias, but you don't act like it because you have a different breakfast every morning. You know,
Yeah, okay.
Most people are like, my breakfast every morning. I have to have the same one every morning because otherwise.
No, I actually was like that when I was younger, but I don't know what happened.
Greaser Ghoul asks, what are the inspirations, influences for the original Symbaroum setting / mechanics, if any?
Oh, there's so many of them. I don't know where to start. I got all super confused right now. One thing that I think, I don't know how explicitly they inspired us in the sense that we were talking about these two concepts, but Game of Thrones and Princess Mononoke definitely are two pop cultural phenomenon that sort of fit the description of being at the center of our design process. You know, the wanting to make a fantasy setting where people act as people do, in some sense, like Game of Thrones, where you can understand people's motivations, and they are afraid and heroic and stupid and whatnot, all at the same time, just like we humans normally are, coupled with this meta conflict between civilization and nature that we see in Princess Mononoke. So those two are maybe the main no, not main, that's stupid to say they were main inspiration sources, because they weren't, but they certainly capture what we were going for with the game when we designed it. We talked about this before. The Symbaroum game that you see in the core book is very much a written and illustrated version of a campaign that we played together for 5-6 years before starting to make the game. We who made the Symbaroum game are childhood friends and have played together for super long. So yeah, we did the game that we wanted to play, read, and draw, and that became Symbaroum. And I'm super happy that others like it as well, because I do.
Absolutely,
it's
been, the response has been really, really great. And it's amazing. It's always fun to see new players discover Symbaroum, and then just to always have. And I mean, it seems like every convention I've done, or any public event that I've done for free, people just come up and they're like, "Oh, I love this game. I love this," and that's just amazing. It's great to hear. I mean, we hear that a lot with some the titles that we put out, but to have that for a title that we actually own and that we create, that's really, really special, and we can't thank the
that
community
goes
enough.
for Forbidden Lands and Coriolis as well. It feels extra good when it's an original brand that we have developed from scratch.
Sure.
No matter how much we love the what we have managed to do with Tales from the Loop and Alien, and if we will have some interesting releases coming up over the next year as well. So
never know. Stay tuned. Tobias just asked, or just says, I've only just joined. Well, thank you, Tobias, for joining us. Hopefully you can go back and watch the beginning part of this. But they said, did they say whether they will be at Essen this year?
Yes, we are at Essen.
We are, yeah.
Maybe you know more than me about that.
I know that there's a team, a Free League team. I think it's going to be headed by Anna Westerling, which you've seen on the show a few times. She's in charge of the Free League events, and I believe Matthew Tyler Jones is
and Martin
from
Takashi is coming.
Martin, yep, and I think Francesco is going to be there as well.
I know he is, because I saw an image of him with a very nice, collector's edition of the One Ring.
Nice. So it'll be nice for those folks. So if you see the Free League team over there, make sure to mention that you caught the Sim, and if you enjoyed it.
Awesome.
And please let Anna and Mattias and Matthew know that you enjoyed the Sims and that you subscribed here on the channel. We greatly appreciate the community. We're almost at 7,200 subscribers now.
Mattias.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And growing quite rapidly.
It is. Let's see here. I think that's probably, it looks like most of the questions are answered. Thank you everyone for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. We usually slot an hour for this, so we're already over that time. But Mattias, if folks want to know more about Symbaroum and all the things that you're working on, where should they go? They should probably go on the Free League forums.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or the Facebook page, where we post most of our news at an early stage. You can also look up the Symbaroum Reddit, which is very good. Lots of activity, lots of very, very cool and nice people there that can help you if you have questions. You can go to Symbaroum.com, where we have a little bit of information about the game. It can be good if you want to first look, and if you want to, show one or two friends the game, you can direct them to Symbaroum.com. From there, you can are pointed to the store and other places of interest.
There's some great communities online for this game, and we greatly appreciate everyone that tells others about it, that plays our games, and supports this line. We greatly appreciate it. I'll remind folks that if you haven't already, make sure to follow Free League Publishing on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and you'll be up to date on all the news and announcements that we have coming up. And I guess Layla says Year of Symbaroum 2022. So maybe you'll hear more about this upcoming big year for Symbaroum.
That sounds awesome.
It does.
I think that should be a UN decision, right?
Yeah.
Year 2022 is the year of Symbaroum. Yeah.
All right, folks. Again, I will. If you enjoyed this session and if you watched all this way, please hit that like button down below. That definitely tells us that you would appreciate these sessions, and you appreciate Mattias giving valuable time out of his day to come on. And
I super appreciate you, Doug, and everyone here with your question. It's the best way for me to forget about the fact that I'm not at Essen right now, which I could have been. So I get to be here and visit people and talk about our games instead. And it made my night.
It's great. It's great. I know it's hard when you're working on on these books and you're writing and you're doing all the layout that you love to do. Knowing that it does have an impact on folks that really appreciate it. I think that's really nice, and I'm glad that we have this forum to kind of give you and the other folks at Free League some kind of rejuvenation, I guess, to let you know that your work does matter to a lot of folks.
It's an energy boost.
That's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time. May your dice rolls never have to be pushed. We'll see you next time. Although that's not a Symbaroum thing.
That's not a Symbaroum.
No,
we say happy gaming. That's what we
happy
do.
gaming. There we go.
Happy gaming.
See y'all next time.